Welcome to Myra Fairy Tales.
Long before maps divided the oceans and long before ships ruled the waves, the sea belonged to magic. Beneath its endless blue surface existed a world unseen by human eyes, a world where light danced through water and time flowed differently. This was the Kingdom of Tides, an ancient underwater realm built not by hands, but by nature itself. Towers of coral spiraled upward like frozen waves. Streets were paved with pearl dust and glowing shells that shimmered softly in the dark depths. Sea plants swayed gently, singing with the currents, and schools of fish moved like living rainbows through the water. At the heart of this kingdom stood the Palace of the Sea King, carved from a single mountain of crystal blue stone. It glowed faintly from within, as though the sea itself breathed life into its walls. The Sea King ruled all oceans, currents, and storms. Sailors feared his wrath, but sea creatures revered his wisdom. Though powerful, he was a gentle ruler, especially within the walls of his palace, where he was simply a father. He had 7 daughters, each born under a different tide. The eldest was fierce and commanding, her presence like crashing waves against cliffs. Another was playful and curious, racing dolphins and laughing through bubbles. One was calm and thoughtful, spending hours listening to the deep ocean's silence. Yet the youngest daughter was different from all the rest. Her name was Marina. Marina was quiet, observant, and deeply curious. While her sisters decorated themselves with pearls and sang loudly through the halls, Marina wandered alone through underwater gardens where glowing flowers opened and closed with the tides. She loved stillness. She loved stories. She loved listening to the whispers carried by the sea. Her eyes reflected the soft light of dawn seen through water, and her long hair floated around her like dark silk. Marina was fascinated by the human world. From sunken ships and drifting currents, she collected objects that did not belong beneath the sea: a cracked mirror, a silver spoon, a torn ribbon, a broken music box that no longer played. She would hold these treasures carefully, wondering about the people who once owned them, imagining lives lived under open skies. Her grandmother, the Sea Queen, noticed Marina's longing. The Sea Queen was ancient, older than storms, older than coral itself. Her crown was made of moonlight and memory, and her voice carried the weight of centuries. One quiet evening, as bioluminescent creatures drifted past like floating stars, Marina asked the question that lived in her heart for years. "Grandmother," she said softly, "why do humans look up at the sky when they are sad?" The Sea Queen sighed. "Because they have souls that long for something beyond this world." That word, souls, settled deeply in Marina's heart. The Sea Queen explained that mermaids lived long and beautiful lives beneath the sea, but when they died, they became sea foam, returning to the ocean forever. Humans, however, lived shorter lives, but carried souls that lived on. That night, Marina dreamed of the sky. When Marina turned 15, she was finally permitted to rise to the surface. Her sisters gathered around her, decorating her hair with pearls and shells, laughing and teasing her. The Sea King watched quietly, pride and worry mixed in his eyes. Marina swam upward through layers of water that grew warmer and brighter. Her heart raced as the surface drew near. Then she broke through. Air filled her lungs for the first time. The sky stretched endlessly above her, painted in shades of gold and pink. Clouds drifted slowly, and the sun warmed her skin in a way no ocean current ever had. She floated gently, stunned by the vastness of it all. In the distance, music drifted across the water. A ship sailed nearby, its sails full, lanterns glowing as laughter echoed across the waves. Marina swam closer, hiding among the ripples. On deck stood a young prince, his smile warm, his eyes kind. He laughed freely, unaware of the fate that watched him from the sea. Marina felt something awaken inside her, something powerful and frightening. Then the sea changed. Clouds gathered without warning. The wind screamed, waves rose violently, and lightning split the sky. The ship rocked dangerously as sailors shouted in fear. Marina watched helplessly as the prince was thrown into the raging water. Without thinking, she dove. She fought the storm, pulling the prince from the waves as they threatened to drag him under. With all her strength, she carried him to shore, laying him gently on the sand as the storm slowly faded. As dawn approached, Marina hid among the rocks. She watched as the prince stirred and opened his eyes. Footsteps approached from the nearby village, and Marina slipped silently back into the sea. The prince never knew who saved him, but Marina never forgot him. Back beneath the waves, Marina's world felt different. The sea's songs no longer brought comfort. Her sister's laughter echoed distantly. Her heart remained on land, with the human whose life she had saved. At last, driven by longing and love, Marina sought the sea witch who lived where light could not reach. The sea witch listened silently, her eyes sharp and knowing. "I can grant your wish, but every wish has a cost." She warned Marina of pain, silence, and loss. She warned her that love could not be forced. Marina listened and chose love anyway. The potion burned as her tail split into legs. Her voice dissolved into silence as her voice vanished into the depths. She awoke on the shore, unable to speak, every step a blade of pain. The prince found her. He showed her kindness, shelter, and warmth. Marina learned to live among humans, to smile without words, to endure pain without complaint. Though the prince cared for her deeply, he believed his heart already belonged to the mysterious girl who had saved him. When he was promised to another, Marina's hope shattered. Her sisters rose from the sea, having sacrificed everything to save her. They offered her a dagger and a choice. Marina looked at the sleeping prince and chose love. She cast the dagger into the sea. As dawn broke, Marina did not vanish into foam. Instead, she rose as a spirit of air. Because her love was selfless, she was granted a chance to earn a soul through kindness. She drifted between sea and sky, watching over both worlds. And though her name was never spoken, her story lived on, in every gentle wave, every quiet breeze, and every heart brave enough to love without possession.